Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother Canada, and on the back of a very dramatic double eviction, we are down to the top 5 and these top 5 are getting toxic. Before this week, we had people in powerful positions and now they might be on their way out of the door. Honestly, I cannot believe how dramatic and awesome this series is. It's so much fun. If you're not watching, you are missing out. And if you are enjoying the series, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys are enjoying the effort I put into these videos. It is a lot. This is one of the last videos that is going up before I head away on holiday. But you'll be seeing it on the last day I have on holiday. So that's how crazy I've been working to make sure that you guys have content whilst I'm away. But thank you. If you are enjoying, make sure to subscribe. As you can see, the energy is dwindling a little bit, but I'm getting that spark going. I'm ready to ride. Right. Let's get on with the video, shall we? B is in a very, very precarious situation because this last week has really fucked up her game. Like, badly. Like, badly mucked up her game. And it's unfortunate because V has been playing a very, very good game. She's been playing both sides against each other and she's been getting away with it for a very, very long time. However, V voted to save Avery, which has annoyed Bailey. Not just annoyed, angered her. Because Bailey's sitting there going, if I'm your number one, why are you voting to evict me? That's not okay. That's not cool. And V was like, well, I wanted to give V Avery a pity vote. And Bailey was like, well, do you understand how annoyed I am that you sat in that chair and went, I vote to evict Bailey? That's not okay. That's what I can't get past. Then, when V became head of household and had to make the decision of who goes home, like Lexus was like, well, what about Todd? Todd's been like angling for me this entire week. Why would we not get rid of Todd? And V was like, fuck yeah, I guess I did lie about that. That's a bit awkward because I don't want Todd to go. He's actually quite good for my game now that Avery's gone, so I need to keep him on side. So we need to get rid of Tola. And Lexus was like, but Todd's been saying all of these things against me. And I was like, oh, V, your lies are absolutely absolutely putting you into a corner. And then, obviously, getting rid of Tola has alienated her with, Anthony, because Anthony really liked him. So did Todd. So really, at this point in time, everyone in the house has got a bone to pick with her and is really sort of annoyed at her. And she can't even compete in the next HOH. That's how sucky it is. So really, V's in a very, very precarious situation this week. I would not be surprised if she gets put up at the end of it. Because, honestly, she kind of deserves it. She's been a bit of a snake in the grass. And as much as I love her and I would love her to go to the end, Bailey's my number one. I want Bailey to go far. And if getting rid of you means that she gets there, absolutely. Bye-bye, V. So, for the head of household competition, we had babyfied exit speeches. They were played exit speeches from the evicted housemates, and they were asked, basically, who is this? But all the voices were babyfied. It was an interesting head of household, I guess. It was very, very close between Anthony and Bailey. And when I tell you it was just at the last minute in the tiebreak that Anthony managed to just beat Bailey in the tiebreak, and he managed to get his answer 2 minutes away from the actual answer. I don't actually remember what the question was, but either way, I was very excited to see Anthony in charge this week. Anthony has been a very passive player in this competition so far, and I feel like this week he's ready to make some bold moves, get some people on side, lose some trust in other people, and make sure that his target definitely heads out the door. So Anthony's big plan this week is to backdoor Victoria. Now, was I surprised by this? Slightly. The bit of me that was surprised is because obviously Anthony had a final two with V, was working very closely with V, but I think he now sees an opportunity to get rid of her when she could go on to potentially win this. She's got the support of the jury so far with Avery, Kayla, potentially even Elijah, but he's going to have to get rid of her if he wants to make it further in the competition, because she also is angling to get rid of him at some point, even though she's proclaiming that she won't. So obviously, he has to carefully plant seeds with every single person that is friends with her. And that means having some tough conversations. He spoke to Bailey and he was like, look, you are currently, or you were, Bailey's third or fourth choice for who she wants to take to the final. You're only her first choice now because she's run out of her other options. And Bailey was like, rah, okay. But also Bailey was like, I don't really trust him that much. Like, I don't feel like I can trust Dougie because he is a manipulator and he's a liar. And then obviously Bailey and Todd were talking and they were like, yeah, actually, V is getting a little bit sloppy now. Like, it's just starting to look a little bit bad when she says she's going to do one thing, then she does another, and then acts all confused as if like, oh, well, I was always going to do that. Like, it's like, was it? Or are you just working out which side of the house you want to pander to this week? Like, what's going on here? So I think there's definitely a sowing seed of mistrust between everyone at the moment. And that leads us on to the plan for this week. Like, the actual solid, here is the plan. Nominations happened. Anthony decided to put up Todd and Lexus. Rogue, you might think. But the reason he's put Todd and Lexus up on the block is because Todd and Lexus are the only people who have won vetoes left in the competition. Todd can take himself down. Bailey will take Todd down. Lexus will take herself down. The only bad outcome from this veto is if V wins. That is the only bad outcome. So currently, the idea is to put Todd and Lexus up against each other because Anthony also wants to keep Bailey on side because Bailey said, you'll lose my trust forever if you put me up on the block. So he didn't. And he stayed true to that, which I was very impressed with. He clearly sees something in Bailey that he now wants to work with. And it's very interesting. It's very, very plain to see. And I think Bailey's like, I can use this. So Todd is obviously going to win the veto, potentially, as will Lexus. So this is a foolproof plan to get rid of Victoria. The only way this goes wrong is if Victoria wins veto. But she's notoriously bad at challenges that don't involve luck. So V has been saying some stuff in the game, in her confessionals to Dougie, that I just wanted to highlight. She spoke to Dougie about how Todd has got to go, even though Todd is someone that she's working closely with, apparently. It just feels very manipulative, backstabby. He knows what's up. Everybody else knows what's up. It just is what it is. But she also thinks that she's 100% safe for this week. Which is so funny. Because I just know that there's a face crack coming at some point. And I'm kind of excited to see it. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know what's going to happen. But she is going to realise, shit. I shouldn't have trusted him. And that is important to note. Also, she believes that Todd is absolutely clueless about the game, which I find so funny because Todd is actually very intelligent and very in tune with what's going on in the game. He just comes across as the entire time because he doesn't want to appear to be a master strategist. He's got moves up his sleeve. He has moves. He might never have been HOH, but that doesn't mean he hasn't got the power and the sort of confidence in order to, like, I don't know, to take you out. Do you know what I mean? He's already won a lot of competitions, made a lot of good moves. He's made it to top 5, for God's sake. Potentially even top 4 if he takes himself down from the veto or he doesn't get evicted. So I think he needs a little bit more credit. So obviously, Bailey is finding it very, very tricky to backstab V. She's finding it morally questionable. She's deciding, should I go with the rest of the team, or do I go against them and keep my morals? And I was like, this is actually a very, very interesting question, because it is a real ethics question, I think. I think it's a real, ooh, I actually don't know what I'd do in this situation. But the icing on the cake was when Bailey was like, well, when me and Avery were on the block and she was fighting in the veto with us, she didn't even try and win the veto for us. So actually, is she just out for herself? And then Lexus was talking to V later. No, V was talking to Anthony later, and Anthony was like, oh, okay, so what do you want to happen this week? And V was like, Todd or Bailey have to go. Have to go. Even though Todd and Bailey are the two people that she's working with closest in the game. What is going on here? I feel like you're just making really, really poor choices. You're making bad decisions, and this is starting to really, really affect my view on your game. It's like you got to last week and then you kind of just fucked your entire game up. And I don't understand how you manage that. It is really surprising, because then obviously Lex is buttering her up later on and she's exposing herself even more, and it just gives Lexus more ammunition to take back to the other three and be like, look, this is what she said, let's get her out. You haven't helped yourself, V. It's the exact reason why Sari made it as far as she did in her series, like of Big Brother US 25. She made it that far in the series because whenever she was having conversations with people, she would never ever tell them what she thought. She would wait for them to tell her what they thought, and then she'd agree or disagree with them. And that was how she played the game, because then no one can go and be like, oh, yo, by the way, Sari said this because you also said this. So it's a very smart strategy, whereas V's just a little bit sloppy at this point, and it is a bit of a shame. So this veto competition was absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. There was so many different levels and intricacies and different things you had to think about. There were 4 different parts to this challenge, and if you failed the last part, you had to go all the way back to the beginning, and it was like, oh god, this is dreadful. I could not compete in this. First of all, they had to stack ice cubes. Like, there were 24 of them, I think. They had to stack ice cubes until they were in one neat tower. Once they'd done that, which was an already very difficult task, then they had to throw strawberries onto a daiquiri, like a big glass of daiquiri, and make sure it landed directly on the center circle. If it didn't, you had to like keep throwing it until you got it on there. Then there was like a lime wedge, and you had to move a ball around the zest, and if it fell off or it fell into the actual lime part, you had to start again. Oh my god. And then just when you think it's over, they then have to pick one of the 10 drinks, pour it, and if it works its way down the pipes into the veto glass, then they win. But there is a 10% chance. Admittedly, what's his face? Todd and Lexus were actually quite good at this. I think they both had about two or three shots at it. Dougie had 1 shot. Dougie actually took an hour 37 in order to just finish the ice cube stacking, and then he whizzed through the rest and then failed at the last bit. I thought this was a horrific challenge to watch. It was so nerve-wracking because I was like, oh my god, this is what's happening? But on the whole, I'm very impressed because Todd did end up winning the veto. I can breathe a sigh of relief. Todd and Bailey are safe for the week. Very, very good. Nice, lovely, jubbly. It looks like V is going home. Yeah. Now, speaking of V going home, the episode ended with her kind of working out through subtle, like, social cues that the rest of the house had kind of turned on her. And she went up to Dougie and went, are you considering putting me up? Like, are you considering, like, please tell me. Don't blindside me. Just tell me, please. And then she was like, she was fighting for her life. I've never seen anyone fight harder for their life than when I saw V talking to Anthony and being like, please keep me in this game. Please, for the love of God, keep me in this game. Please. Please. And I was like, oh, this is tough. I've not seen someone crying and weeping like I saw Victoria weep and cry. And it was a little bit dramatic, but also it was actually quite upsetting to watch. I do feel like Anthony has really fucked his jury management. Really fucked it. Elijah, I feel like, was still on good terms with him. But he manipulated the exits. Now, if V does go home, he's manipulated the exits of the rest of them. V, Kayla, Avery. He's got potentially Tola on side. He's potentially got Elijah on side. But currently, if he makes it to top 2, he is losing 3-2 currently. And if you look at the rest of the house, if Bailey and Todd get eliminated, or Bailey and Lexus, or Lexus and Todd, I don't think he's got the votes. And it's a shame, because I think he's played a very good game. I just think he fucked up too many times by manipulating people and getting them out of the house rather than just letting other people take the fall for him. It's not smart to be the one ringleading, and that's exactly what he was doing. So that is all for today's episode. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. But until then, make sure to keep on ranting, subscribe, we're on our way to 900, and I will see you guys later. Bye now.